The second issue I thought that needed clarification was the issue that surfaced in the media recently with CN Sharma. Now, let me give you a background into this matter. Channel 6 aired a program, a commentary, that was very offensive in many ways to many people. A complaint was lodged by Bishop Edgehill to the ACB, an advisory committee on broadcasting, that had at that time, because since subsequently the PNC representative resigned, but had at that time a representative of the PNC, the private sector, and one from the government. As a result of their investigations and them asking Sharma to explain this offensive commentary, they came to the conclusion that Sharma had a track record of similar offenses, having been the subject of sanctions 3 times prior to this one for offenses that were, or for programs that were offensive to the conditions of the license. They then sent me a recommendation recommending that I suspend Sharma's license for no less than 6 months. This is from the Advisory Committee for Broadcasting. I chose to give Sharma a hearing because it is only right that I did so. CN Sharma and his wife came to my office. I had with me the Attorney General, and I asked him whether he was aware of the content of the broadcast. They said yes, but it was by mistake. I said, as the license holder, that it was broadcast by mistake. I said to him, this, unlike the past instance when you claimed that the program was a live program, this one was pre-recorded. They then went on to say that other stations violate the conditions of the license. I said, I don't have a complaint by anyone before me about any other station. If that were to come to me with a recommendation from the ACB, I'll deal with it. Right now I'm dealing with this case. They said they've apologized to Bishop Edgehill. I said, but have you looked at the content? Edgehill has remedy through our courts because he felt they libeled him. But what bothered me most is that there were several attempts in this commentary to create division among our people along the lines of religious beliefs and even among Christian denominations. So there was a serious attempt to divide the Christian community by pitting Pentecostals against Catholics, and then Hindus against Christians by saying a Hindu priest told me to take a Christian program off the air, and that's why the government did that. When everyone knew why Channel 4, I think it was, they lost their license because they were in breach of the conditions of the license. So it was a serious matter. Not only was it offensive to the conditions of the license, but it was also offensive to our Constitution. That we have strong constitutional protections against people trying to divide the population of this country along race or religion. So I said to them, this is a serious matter. It goes beyond Edgehill. It is a violation of both I said, is there anything else you would like to say to me? They left my office. I said, you will hear from me. Maybe a week ago, a little less than a week ago, late at night, I got a call from Mrs. Sharma saying to me that if they were to remove Christopher Ram program, and if they were to transfer the license from Sharma's name to her name, whether they would avoid sanctions, whether that would be okay with me. I said to her clearly, this is not a negotiation. I've never seen the Christopher Ram program. I've never, because I don't watch the TV much. So I said, that's programming, and what you show on your TV is up to your channel. I said, the issue as the transfer of license is not germane here. There's one matter before me. That is a matter that came from the ACB recommending a minimum of 6 months suspension. And that is the matter I'm considering. She was crying and saying I'm too harsh and all of that, but this was the end. I said, you'll hear from me with a letter. Then suddenly, I saw it appeared in the newspaper that the government tried to get Sharma to remove this program from the air. I then realized that this was all a smokescreen. The call to me to move the issue away from the transgression and the recommendation of the ACB for a long-term suspension to this issue about press freedom and government trying to interfere to tell them what program to take off. So that should I agree to the sanctions, then they will blame it on, we didn't like this program. So it was a clever plot generated by Sharma. I've seen some of these people from the embassies go to the press conference. And frankly speaking, I'm disappointed at their shallowness. All they had to do was to call the regulatory authorities. The only people who matter are the regulatory authorities, and ask whether they had asked Sharma to do this. They chose to believe the word of someone who was charged for pedophilia years ago, got off on a technicality, who is before the court again, charged again for pedophilia, against that of the regulatory authority. Someone who knew that there was impending sanction based on the serious transgressions that his station made. It wasn't Jagdeo who told him to air that program. It wasn't Jagdeo who complained to the ACB. It wasn't Jagdeo who assessed the case at the ACB and recommended a minimum of 6 months. So we have been very tolerant in this country with Sharma, even when it was worse. Why would we be bothered with one program? Particularly in light of the fact that already there is a recommendation from the ACB for sanction, suspension. So it's all a smokescreen. It's all a smokescreen to divert attention away from the core issue, which was being considered before all of this happened. That is the real issue. As I said to Mrs. Sharma when she spoke to me, I said, you will get my position in writing, which will happen next week, what my decision is. So that is where we are on that matter. Yeah.